fly tyers, welcome to another episode of Aaron at the Fly Desk. Today we will be tying a good old traditional black woolly bugger with a little bit of Aaron spin on it. Get a little better light on here. And today we're going to use a size 8 streamer hook with a 5/32 tungsten bead and some 3/0 Danville pre-waxed monocord. So first thing we do, and I've showed you this in prior videos, you can see where the I'm drawing a blank, where the barb of the hook comes up. I like to get my thread to where it's at a 90-degree angle with the hook and right back to that barb, and that's as far back as I will go with my materials. So first off, we're going to use some strung marabou, and I actually like to pull some of this softer stuff. If you get out here on the tip, it's still good, it's just a little stiffer, but on my woolly buggers I like them to flutter and move in the water, so we're going to pull from the soft stuff down here. So I'm going to actually wrap it more towards the front of the bead so I can keep my taper. Now a lot of people just cut it right here. If you do that, what happens is you have a pretty hard line and it doesn't look very natural. So what I like to do is break it. And you can see that gives a little bit more of a natural taper look to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of Flashabou, and I like this. It's kind of an orange rainbow color. Get about 4 strands of it. Put it right in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is get some more marabou. It's actually got a little bit of white strung in it where the dye didn't get clear through. That'll just make it look more like an older grandpa fly. This fly's got some age to it. You can see that my Flashabou's right in the middle of that marabou, so as it flutters it's gonna give it a nice flashy look as well. You can also put some more Flashabou around it, and I'll do that on this one. Sometimes I'll throw a strand on each side. Woolly bugger typically is more of an attractor fly. It can imitate a minnow, a crawdad. Oops, that one kind of flare down on me. There we go. But most of the time, fish are just attracted to the buggy look. Okay, next thing we'll do is we're going to pull a piece of hackle right here. And this is just normal saddle hackle. What I like to do is I like to get my fingers and pull it, so then I can kind of check my length. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this about right there, and then just trim it a little bit so I can grab that with my thread. So we'll just lay that on the back here. There's a lot of different ways you can do the hackle. I'm probably going to do a video on that, show you 3 different ways I do my woolly bugger hackle. This one's my most common way because on my woolly buggers I like to use dubbing for the body. It is easier if you use yarn or some Estaz or something like that. However, I find mine hold together if I use dubbing because my hackle sinks down into that body material and is less exposed to the teeth of the fish. So this is some black dubbing with some red flash mixed into it. So we're just gonna kind of lay that on our thread like so. And then what I do is I take my 2 fingers and I roll that dubbing. Get it just nice and tight around my thread. And with dubbing, once you start it, I'm gonna roll it a little tighter as I'm holding it. Just put a little bit more. I find that trout really like this red flash that I put into this bugger. It triggers them, especially in the early spring. And you can see I really pack my dubbing behind that bead to get it set up in there. And then what I'll actually do is I'll get a little bit of super glue and I'll just pack that in just a little tighter with that glue. And that tends to make it so your bead's not spinning on you after a few fish. Okay, then we take our hackle and we just start rolling it through there. Try to keep it as evenly spaced as possible. Don't freak out if you don't. I don't think the fish measure that space before they bite it. And a lot of times I'll actually get my space closer together towards the head of the hook because I like my hackle pretty bulky right behind my bead. Okay, so now we're to that point. So now what I'll do is I'll actually wrap my thread a couple times through the front of this hackle, and I'll pull it back and start building up my head right here. And then we'll get our whip finisher. Okay, and the last part is we get a little bit of UV glue. And we'll put it all around the bead. Now you get to see my fancy new UV light. I'll just go around. I had one comment on one of my videos that said my UV flashlight was running out of juice, and he was right. I thought, man, if you can tell that on the video, I'm gonna get a UV light that I can just plug in so it never goes dull. And I just have it, you can kind of see right here, I have it clipped onto my fly tying desk. Pretty snazzy, if you ask me. And that, my friends, is one of my favorite renditions of the black woolly bugger. So thank you for watching this edition of Aaron at the Fly Desk, and hopefully you take this fly and go catch some big fish. Please like and subscribe and comment if you have any additional advice. As fly tyers, we're always learning from each other. And thank you for watching.